Bishop, do you have any?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Lindbergh, earlier in February, the White House announced that India would be eliminating or reducing tariffs on many of our agricultural products, including tree nuts. With the loss of our Pecan China market, expanding the market in India is critical to the industry's future. And of course, Georgia produces more pecans than any other state. The Indian tariff on U.S. pecan imports has been as high as 100%. And after a great deal of effort, India reduced the tariff to approximately 30%. With the new administration's India agreement, what rate will the new India tariff be for U.S. Pecan imports? And when can we expect the tariff reduction to be implemented?
Yes, sir. So the team at USTR, the Trade Representative's Office, is working to finalize the India agreement as we speak. And I don't have an announcement for you right now on a timeline related to exactly when that we anticipate that will come into full force. But I do anticipate that pecans will be a part of that overall agreement as the broader tree nut industry is included.
Can you give us a copy of the terms of reference?
As soon as they're finalized, I can get you a copy of that, yes.
Thank you. Tell us what you're doing, what USDA is doing to support the non-tariff barriers on U.S. ag exports through the bilateral trade negotiations. And with regard to tariffs, we need to be able to compete globally, our producers do, but the tariffs on the ag inputs not only make inputs more expensive for American farmers, but they make inputs for global competitors cheaper. Secretary Rollins said last week that she wants to get to the bottom of why the costs have gone up so much, but one of the reasons is obviously the tariffs. What are you doing to make sure that U.S. farmers are not put at a competitive disadvantage by the tariffs? And will you commit to working with USTR to ensure that trade negotiations do not result in higher costs for our farmers? And would you tell us about the global trading standards and rules which are critical for agricultural trade and what you're doing to assure that Codex Alimentarius, the World Trade Organization, and other international organizations can continue to support our trade for U.S. products, farm products?
Yes, sir. I want to make sure I just have all. So we have non-tariff barriers was the first question. The second question was on input prices, inputs, and then the third was on Codex.
Yes.
Is that correct? Just want to make sure I hit all three of those for you.
Global standards.
Of course. Yes, sir. So I agree with you. Non-tariff barriers are a huge issue for our producers. In fact, they traditionally have been worse than the tariff barriers that our foreign markets have waged war on our producers with, because they pop up and they go away and they come back and we ship things places and then they get turned away. It's a very unfortunate situation. I can tell you that many of the agreements have addressed very specifically non-tariff barriers in a wide variety of ways, but there's one I want to highlight for you specifically. I mentioned in my opening remarks that a number of countries, in particularly Asia, have agreed to recognize the U.S. food safety system as safe. That is a monumental shift in trade relations with these markets, because traditionally these markets will say, oh, we disagree with the way you evaluate this product or this particular chemical you use or this other thing, and they will target our producers based on individual specific items. This is a sort of carte blanche way of approaching an agreement that says the U.S. food system is safe, and if it's safe to eat in America, it's safe to eat in your country.
And that's good, and that for Asia. But we've got particular difficulty with Europe.
We also have issues with Europe. We can get to that too. I agree with you. Yes. But so I'm just saying that they're using that as a negotiating tactic to make sure that we are erasing potential issues down the road so that it's not just a one-off every time a country has a specific individual concern. It's saying, no, if it's safe to eat in the United States, it's safe to eat there. And that allows us to cover a whole lot of non-tariff barriers that exist or could potentially exist down the road. On inputs, we have advocated for making sure that our farmers produce crops at an effective and competitive rate. We have seen tariffs come off of a number of inputs that the president initially started with and has since withdrawn on fertilizers and other things to make sure that our producers are, in fact, able to produce their crops and their products at a reasonable, effective rate. And so a lot of that has already been addressed at this point in time on import tariffs on those specific input products. Number three, with respect to Codex, I was actually in Rome last week and met with the secretariat of the Codex as well as the Food and Agriculture Organization Director General Chu to talk specifically about ensuring that our science-based standards are the gold standard globally and that American producers have the ability to continue selling our products uninterrupted using the trade terms that are being perpetuated through Codex and FAO.